Martin O'Neill's full list of summer transfer targets has been revealed, and it is far bigger than anyone expected. We have also got a winger Celtic want, who just doubled his asking price at the World Cup, a return for a popular ex-loanee, 2 squad players left waiting on their futures, and a brilliant Scott Brown story about the one man who properly got under his skin. Let's get into it. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Martin O'Neill's summer transfer plans go well beyond 1 or 2 new faces, with reports revealing the manager wants reinforcements across almost every position before the new season begins. According to the Daily Record, O'Neill is targeting a new goalkeeper, a left-back, a centre-half, midfielders, wingers, and at least 2 strikers. That is not a light refresh. That is the shape of a proper rebuild. The goalkeeper situation is interesting given Viliami Sinisalo finished last season as number 1 and is well liked by supporters, while Ross Doohan is currently backup following Kasper Schmeichel's retirement. Whether O'Neill wants serious competition for Sinisalo or simply stronger cover remains to be seen. At left-back, Kieran Tierney is returning, but his Scotland World Cup involvement means a later arrival for pre-season, which makes an additional option sensible. At centre-half, Celtic already have Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, Liam Scales and Dane Murray, with Make Naroki due back from loan, but the question is whether that group is strong enough for Champions League qualifiers. Midfield could be the biggest area of the window. Arne Engels is reportedly set to decide his future before returning to Lennox Town on Friday. Reo Hatate's situation has generated plenty of noise, and Benjamin Nygren is also part of the conversation after a strong season and World Cup exposure. If Celtic lose one major midfielder, they need to move fast. If more than one goes, this becomes a serious rebuild rather than a simple refresh. Out wide, Dyson Maeder's future has been spoken about, and Jota's return from injury needs careful management. Up front, wanting at least 2 strikers tells its own story. This is the kind of window Celtic should have been preparing for early. The manager is in place. Now he needs the backing. Now for the main story, as Celtic have been warned that Elijah Just's World Cup form could massively increase Motherwell's asking price. Just as transfer interest in the winger from Parkhead continues to grow, Just has already been linked with a move to Celtic after an excellent season at Fir Park, and his profile has shot up after scoring twice for New Zealand at the World Cup. That kind of form on the biggest stage changes conversations very quickly. Andy Halliday, speaking to the Daily Record, was full of praise for the player, saying, "But my favourite player to watch was undoubtedly Elijah Just. When I first saw him, I thought, he's going to get eaten alive in Scottish football. He's 5'6" in, the size of my pinky, no real pace, no real power, but when your brain is faster than anybody else on the pitch, you can make football look easy, and he's got the heart the size of a lion for somebody so small. His desire off the ball is fantastic." Halliday believes the World Cup has already shifted the price tag, adding, "Before the World Cup, I didn't think it would have got to Lennon Miller fee type of numbers, but he scored a double in the first game of the World Cup. What can he do in the coming games? Motherwell will certainly be asking for a pretty penny for him." The Lennon Miller benchmark is significant. His move last summer brought in around £4.7 million, including add-ons. If Just's World Cup form pushes him into that territory, Celtic would be facing a serious outlay for a player already proven in the Premiership and now attracting wider attention from elsewhere too. Motherwell have every reason to drive a hard bargain. A move that once looked manageable could become considerably more expensive if Just keeps performing on the world stage. In other news, Celtic are reportedly set to open formal talks with Boca Juniors over a permanent return for Marcelo Saraki, with Kieran Tierney still away at the World Cup with Scotland. Saraki already knows the club, the squad, and the pressure that comes with playing at Parkhead. With Tierney unlikely to be back for the start of pre-season, that experience is worth something to O'Neill right now. The Daily Record report that Celtic have already spoken with people close to the player and are now ready to formalise talks with Boca over a permanent deal. The situation at Boca Juniors may work in Celtic's favour too, with Saraki reportedly told he is not part of their plans for next season, while the Argentine club are keen to free up space in their squad. A fee of around £2 million has been mentioned, which is not a significant figure for a player with his experience, especially one who has already shown he can handle Scottish football. Saraki is said to be open to a return, but will want clarity over what kind of role he would actually have under O'Neill. During his loan spell, Saraki left a strong impression. His energy, direct running, and aggressive style gave Celtic something different down the left, and his contribution in the title-clinching win over Hearts earned him plenty of support among the fans. For O'Neill, this looks like a sensible early deal rather than a headline move. Celtic need players who understand the job and can contribute immediately, and Saraki fits that description well. In other news, two experienced squad players are facing real uncertainty over their futures, with Kelechi Iheanacho and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain still waiting to discover whether Celtic plan to offer them new deals. The Daily Record report that neither player has yet been told whether they will be kept on beyond the summer, leaving both in a holding pattern while O'Neill works out the shape of his squad. Iheanacho's situation carries the most immediate interest. Keltsar here understands the striker wants to stay at Celtic despite recent claims linking him with clubs in Brazil. The 29-year-old finished last season strongly and feels he has done enough to earn a new contract, but Celtic have not yet put an offer on the table. That leaves O'Neill with a decision to make. Celtic are expected to target at least two strikers this summer, and the manager cannot afford to go into Champions League qualifiers short up front. Iheanacho may not be the long-term answer alone, but there is a clear case for keeping a proven goalscorer around while other attacking targets are pursued. Oxlade-Chamberlain's situation is slightly different. He arrived on a short-term basis and brought valuable experience, but midfield could be one of the busiest areas of the entire window. With uncertainty already surrounding key players and fresh additions expected, O'Neill must decide whether another year for the former Liverpool and Arsenal man fits the wider plan. Both decisions will say a lot about the direction Celtic are taking this summer. Either way, clarity is needed quickly, with pre-season getting closer by the day. Lastly, Scott Brown has shared a brilliant story about the only opponent who ever properly got under his skin, recalling a heated clash with Mario Balotelli during a Celtic trip to face AC Milan in Italy. Brown was never one to take a backward step, especially on a European night, and this story is exactly the sort of thing supporters would expect from the former Celtic captain. Speaking to BBC Sport, Brown said, "Yeah, Mario Balotelli. We played Milan away, and I knew he was a good player. I knew he had a little switch that could trigger at any point. I remember thinking, I'm going to have him." It did not take long for things to escalate. Brown continued, "There was a tackle about 20-25 minutes in, and I've munched him about 30 yards out, barely touched the ball. He stood over me and said, 'You will not leave Italy unless it's in a body bag.' I was like, I've not had that said to me before." Most players might have needed a moment to process being threatened like that. Brown's response summed up exactly why he was such a key figure for Celtic for so many years. He said, "Not sure if it's true or not, but the mafia over here could probably do that. Gonna help us up, big man." It is a fantastic story and another reminder of the edge Brown brought to Celtic in Europe. He was never interested in standing back and admiring big-name opponents, and whether it was Balotelli, Milan, or anyone else, his approach stayed exactly the same. Make it awkward, make it physical, and make sure they knew they were in a game. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next